Hello, and welcome to twodaymag.com's newest addition to our magazine, the X Squared video blog. I am your host, Natalie Bencivenga, and this is my wonderful co-host and contributor to Today Mag, Anya Alvarez.
Hey guys.
Today's topic, we're going to be discussing women's health issues and the politics that are involved with that, and are women becoming apathetic to their own bodies? What do you think, Anya?
And I think that's something that Natalie and I have been really wondering a lot, because it does seem that women are becoming less vocal about these laws that are getting passed in many different states, are trying to get passed and are moving forward at a very high pace. And we need to ask these questions: do we not care about our own rights anymore?
I completely agree. And before we do that, let's go through a quick history of the women's rights movement in this country so we can kind of get a good idea of just how long we've had these rights.
So in 1920, women got the right to vote.
That was a good one.
Yep. 1965, married couples got the right to obtain birth control. Then in 1972, single women got the right to obtain birth control.
Also a good one.
And then in 1973, Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court, a very famous case. Mm-hmm. And all of these were tied to the right to privacy, so women finally were able to get the right to get an abortion because of Roe v. Wade.
Absolutely.
Then 1972, Title IX, which gave women the same opportunities in educational realms because of athletics. I was able to attend school because of an athletic scholarship because of Title IX that I probably would have never been able to receive back in the day.
Which is really interesting, because I think we take a lot of these things for granted, and I think that's what's kind of happening right now in the political arena, is since we're being distracted and we're paying attention to things that really don't matter, politicians are taking that and running with it because they're getting those opportunities. They're seeing these moments where we're not watching, and they're stripping our rights. So what is it you think that we can do about this?
Well, I think we need to pay attention, obviously, and really focus on these states that are passing these laws. For instance, Louisiana and the House Committee basically are trying to pass a ban where it passed through the House Committee 10-2 that would ban all abortions.
So if you were in Louisiana,
if you're raped, incest, you couldn't get an abortion.
Wouldn't matter.
Then in 15 states total, they're trying to pass laws that would jail doctors who perform abortions from 6 months to 8 years.
Which is horrifying. So a doctor wouldn't be able to perform an abortion, wouldn't be able to do their job, and we'd be sending trained, licensed medical professionals to state prisons just for performing an abortion between himself and a woman in the privacy of a doctor's office.
And in Florida and Georgia, the jail time sentence for these doctors would be 30 years to a lifetime. Now, what's really horrific about this is, as someone who, like myself, who has experienced rape at the age of 16, I can't imagine having been raped and also getting pregnant and not being able to get an abortion, which I can only imagine makes the experience of rape even more horrific.
It's bad enough what you went through.
That the fact that you can't even find a doctor that can perform an abortion for you if you did get raped, I just couldn't even fathom having to go through something like that.
And the irony of it is, it's not as though women will stop handling their business. It's just we're going to find more dead bodies along the way. There's going to be a lot more women suffering or even dying if these laws actually do see the light of day and do pass. And what's scary also is that they're planning on cutting Planned Parenthood in many states. They've tried in Texas. They're trying in Indiana, which thankfully it was voted down by the federal court, which had to step in. But what do you think of that?
I mean, I can't even fathom it. Think about not being able to go to your doctor and get birth control. I mean, something as simple as that, where you can just walk in and get birth control, or having the means to get condoms even.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it comes to birth control, who's going to say that they won't say, well, condoms are a form of, I mean, some politicians really believe that birth control is another form of abortion.
Absolutely.
So who's to say that they won't think condoms are the same thing as well?
It's a very slippery slope. And I think what we also need to remember is that whether or not you believe in abortion, whether or not you believe in birth control, it's really more about, do you have control over your own body and over your own life? And there was a case in Ireland that you were discussing with earlier that I think is very important because it shows the timeliness of this topic.
And we're going to put a link to that as well, because we don't want to go back to that time where it becomes impossible for women to get abortions, like it is in Ireland, essentially. And if you read this case, I believe that many of you will just be horrified by what's happening over there right now with abortion laws. And really we need to think about what our ancestors went through to fight for our rights. I mean, many of these women that fought for us to get the right to education and to have the same opportunities in the workforce and to have the right to vote and to have the right to get birth control or to obtain an abortion, they never got to experience those same rights that we have to this day. And we have to think about our children, our children's children. And
absolutely, the generations ahead of us.
We haven't had these rights that long, and that's what we don't understand. I mean, 40-something years since we've had the right to get
birth control. And you still had to be married.
And you still had to be married at that time. I mean, that's insane.
Only 90-some years since we've even been able to vote as women.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is we just need to become more aware. We need to be paying more attention because they are trying to take away your rights. They're trying to take away my rights. And this isn't just a women's issue. This is a human issue.
Yeah.
If we lose this right, not only will it affect women, but it's going to affect all sorts of other issues that are going to affect everyone in this country, and you're going to see one of the main issues is going to be an increase in poverty.
And if you think it was hard getting rights the first time, think about going through that again the second time around to fight for the same rights that we fought for years ago.
Absolutely. So this was our first topic, a heavy topic, but a very timely and important topic. If you'd like to learn more about any of the issues we've discussed or a few extra issues that we didn't mention, but you can find the links below, please do feel free to share this with your friends. If you have a woman in your life, I'm sure she'd be interested in reading this. This is Natalie Bencivenga,
Anya Alvarez,
and this was Today Mag's X Squared debut.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Guys.